Today, I want to talk about e-waste, which is electronic waste consisting of computers, TVs, cell phones, anything and everything that has to do with how we survive technologically in the world today. This is a growing problem in the US and worldwide. We are constantly we are constantly wanting bigger and better things, and cell phones before, for example, used to just be able to make calls, and now we can text and surf the internet and send videos and pictures and all kind of things. So no one wants the regular flip phones that we used to have. They want these iPhones that everyone, this is all the rage. And in a few months, this isn't even going to be the best. This will be something old, and someone's going to want something newer. So if you think about it, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, if I have this cell phone and I want a new one, then I can go and get one. A lot of cell phone companies are starting plans where you aren't locked in a contract forever and you can upgrade your phone whenever you need to. So that's maybe not the best thing, except especially for a society where, it's okay to throw away whatever you have. We constantly are throwing away televisions and computers, so why not cell phones? All of this technology is bad in our environment, especially because it doesn't decompose like regular trash does. We need to start thinking about, all the places that we can go and the resources we can use to dispose of our electronic waste. There are plenty of places in the US where you can take your electronics and they will dispose of them in a better way than how we would think just throwing it away in the trash would be. Anything and everything is easy to throw in the trash, but it's hard work to drive, however many miles to go and dispose of it the right way and make sure that our environment is staying clean like it should. We What some people don't know is that these technologies that we have toxic metals and all kind of things that don't belong in our environment, like lead. That's a big one, especially because it's so harmful to people in our environment. We are thinking, well, it's not going to get to us. It's just one cell phone. Well, that's what everyone else is thinking probably, and one cell phone turns into 1,000 cell phones or 1,000,000 cell phones, and then we have this huge amount of toxic metals that are being spewed out into our earth and is killing our fish and our is making our soil bad and is becoming dangerous for people to eat and drink the water here. Um, we've also resulted to sending our electronics to poor countries who can't afford to get rid of their technologies like we can. We're sending these people to people who are less fortunate and already have bad drinking water, and now, we're it's not our problem anymore. It's someone else's problem, and I think that's a little irresponsible of us to do, especially since we have so much technology here to help get rid of these things that we don't need anymore. We Another problem that we have is, we're not we don't want to recycle the things that we have, and that's probably a really good answer to some of the things that we do want to get rid of, especially like TVs and cell phones. I know I have at least 3 old cell phones. I'm an example of the people who just want to get rid of their electronics, but you know it's easy to recycle. And when people start having kids say, here, this is your first cell phone, it was my first cell phone, it's in perfect working condition, and you can live with this. And when you start growing up, yes, you can start having mild things, as bad as it sounds, but it might be a solution, just recycling what we have. um, I know that a lot of people don't think of doing things like that, but when I went to college, I got an old recycled TV that my parents weren't using. They said, well, we're not using it and it's not going to any use here, so you can use it. And you know what? It was a perfect TV for a dorm room. So, these things are easy to get rid of, especially if you're thinking about recycling. I know my fiance here, he has a motorcycle and he's thinking about getting a new one. Well, what are you going to do with it?
Well, I'm going to either try and sell it to someone else for a starter bike instead of trying to part it out, because I know a lot of companies that part out take what they can to use, and the rest just goes in a local landfill. And we all know that metal and aluminum doesn't decompose as normal trash. And that leaves back waste that gets into our water system, gets into our lakes by dumping, which kills fish, which kills cattails. It's just a vicious cycle. And so if you can take one step by either reselling something or taking it somewhere that you know it's going to be recycled the right way, you can stop that chain reaction and cause a big effect in our economy, in our environment. And a lot of people say, I'm just one person. What's it going to do? One person turns into three, three turns into 10. It's just down the line. And if you can take time to talk to somebody about the way you recycle it, they'll talk to three, they'll talk to 10. It's the same cycle. So it comes down to you which way the cycle turns, positive or negative. So to me, being responsible and getting rid of my motorcycle the right way is huge.
Yeah, so, that's always a good thing to do is looking to resell something and, you know, it it's not harmful until you put it in the landfills. So that's one way to keep it out is by recycling it, selling it to someone else. I know there's plenty of people who are willing to buy a motorcycle, like my fiance is trying to get rid of, um, to buy a motorcycle that's secondhand. Everyone does it. We buy secondhand cars all the time. So, start with recycling all your technologies. Try to sell it to someone new. You don't always have to get rid of it and throw it away for to be a help. And
Instead of people just thinking that it's about what you own, we need to go back to the way it was in the old days where, it wasn't about what you own. It's about how hard you work and how you raise your family and how you treat the people in your community, in your church. But instead, it's all about what we own. And that's why we see so many people throwing away old cell phones to get new cell phones and saying that they lost their cell phones when really they just threw it away. We need to go back and check our values and check our priorities. And I really think that bringing this issue to the surface like you have is a fantastic idea.
thanks. All right. Well, that's all we have today. So hopefully it kind of brought some knowledge about e-waste and ways we can dispose of it in a proper manner, and hopefully you can pass that on to someone else. Thanks.